guys, welcome back to Between Bells here on Cheddar. Of course, if you're in New York City for the summer, it's pretty much mandatory to go on a rooftop at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That's where, of course, you can look out over Central Park, have a few cocktails, and what's usually one of the hottest exhibits of the season. You can take a look at that. So here to tell us about the current installation is our chief senior art correspondent, Cheryl McGinnis. I want to keep giving you more and more.
Did you add on that time?
I'm going to add more. I'm going to say
Executive chief.
Executive. I don't know what's after that.
Of course.
I'm not sure.
But I love it.
VP.
I mean, you are the big one, Cheryl.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's so nice of you.
So for our
Thank
viewers,
you.
of course, that might not be in New York City, don't get to take advantage of what we get to do, going all these great rooftop exhibits and stuff like that. Tell our viewers a little bit about the inspiration behind the theater of the disappearance.
And I think we have some good shots for them.
Oh,
so,
yes, we
so
do.
this is artist Pilar Rojas, and it's called The Theater of Disappearance, as you said.
Oh, there it
There's
is
some
right
nice
there.
shots. And what he does, and that's me looking at this exhibit, because
Love
I wanted
your
to,
coat in that
I
shot.
knew you would. I
that's
knew
the
you
first thing I
would.
look at,
That's it,
Cheryl.
that coat. You know, Byron Lodge, Zinda Williams. What I love what this artist does is he integrates each element into his concept for a fantastical event. And when I say each element, did you know that the Met in the 19th century did not own one piece of art? They were all reproductions from plaster.
No, it
They
didn't.
could not afford it.
Wow.
So this artist decided to recreate a lot of what is in the Met's collection
Oh, interesting.
in plaster.
Oh.
And he took the notion of what it is that the rooftop is about. Well, it's a magnificent view of Central Park.
Yeah, you can already see just the
Right?
shots of you walking around. You have
Right?
the city as your background. It's
Beautiful.
amazing.
That cat's for Lara.
Oh, yes,
I
it is
put
for
that
our executive
down.
producer,
Did that for
Lara. That's her
Lara.
cat right
Yes.
there, Jack Bauer.
The rooftop is a gathering place in the summer. There's a bar. There's the view of New York. And he took all of this into consideration. And then he created, through looking at the archives of the Met and all of their sculpture, he created this remarkable experience in which we, the viewer, become part of the theater of it.
How did he choose what items or objects or sculptures to select to put in plaster?
Great question. He walked the halls of the Met, into the archives. He talked to the scientific community. He talked to restorers at the Met. He talked to curators, and he picked pieces that kind of caught his fancy. So sometimes you'll see a sculpture on the rooftop of a man, and he's holding a piece from Tibet, and then he's also got a piece on his shoulder from Mesoamerican collections. What Rojas does is he completely just takes all the different areas of the Met's collection and puts them together.
Well, how did he decide which ones he wanted to feature? Because I'm assuming maybe because all the tables that you're walking up on that rooftop exhibit, was it just because he wanted which ones would look the best on those tables? Like, how did he know which ones to choose?
Well, I think that's part of it, is how did he choose it? Because a lot of times there are certain plates and knives and forks from different eras, but there's also little spiders and little places. I think that in his mind, in the concept of all this, he puts it all together. So it's not just one sculpture, it's 5, 6, 7 pieces on one sculpture. So the way he creates that in this very democratic way, that he doesn't give any credence to the way the history works. What I really call the sculpture is engage and disrupt, because he engages us as viewers, because you have to look at the sculpture, you have to look at one sculpture hundreds of times, and that's why we showed this video. It's the detail of it. He engages us by disrupting the historical aspect of the way we look at sculpture in a museum, and therefore we become part of this. And you can't touch anything, though.
You can't touch anything.
And I try. I was
I
really
would too.
scared.
Yeah.
Why do you think, in your opinion, this was the installation they chose for summer?
I think they commissioned this. This is a commissioning. And I think it was that,
Like a summer picnic?
a summer picnic. I want to say this to all millennials and everyone. Going to the Met on the Friday night, there's a small orchestra playing. You go to the rooftop. You have a drink. He even chose the drinks.
What kind
at
of
the
drinks
bar.
were
No, there's all kinds of different drinks that you could choose that are inspired.
Interesting.
Everything. This is like curating art all together in this environment. And so you go to the Met Rooftop, You have a magical view of the city.
Yep.
As it gets dark, it's amazing. You meet people. You're engaging with art, so it's very easy to open up a conversation. And I think that's one of the reasons why
Very social.
they chose that. It's social. And there is this enormous push, as there should be, to get people to go to museums and feel like they can be a part of it.
I think anybody that's coming to New York City, the Met is one of the top places you have to go in general, but the fact
Right.
in the summertime to go up on the rooftop in general,
Right.
I've been up there so many times, I haven't seen this exhibit, but just going up there in general is just fascinating and amazing. Even the Whitney is gorgeous going on
Gorgeous.
that rooftop as well.
It is. It is.
So much to talk about. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Cheryl McGinnis.
thank
We love having you
you.
coming on. She's our senior,
you.
chief, master art correspondent. Come on, guys, we're going to go over the biggest news stories of the day. Do not touch that dial. Do not go anywhere. Stick with us.